All right, y'all. So a couple weeks ago, I got asked about my thoughts on the Meat Stick X and what I recommended to him. And it prompted me into thinking about all the barbecue thermometers that I've gone through or have used in the last, 10 years or so that I've been barbecuing. So I started out with when I built my first drum smoker back in 2012. I had a 12-inch turkey fryer, deep fryer thermometer. Pretty simple. Works fantastic. It's like $10. Works fantastic. Why a 12-inch? Because I put this 1 inch below my cook rack. This one, y'all know these, are only 3-inch. See the difference? So in a UDS, this only reads the outside temperature of the wall. This reads the center of the cook rack, which is where I want to know, because if I'm not running a heat deflector, I'm hotter here. I'm hotter in the center than I am here. I've noticed between this one and this one will be 50 degrees difference without running a proper heat deflector. That's a whole nother video. But these work fantastic. I also used at the time, it was like an AccuTemp. Put a picture right here. Those thermometers were like 10 or 15 bucks. And I mean, I had 3 or 4 of them, and they would work for a little while, then they'd stop. And I mean, when they stopped, they stopped. So then you're buying another one. So at that time, I had went to the app-based stuff started coming out and becoming popular. So at that time, I went to the iGrill 2. You've seen these. They've been out. They've been popular since, 2015, 2016-ish. Before Weber bought them. They were just iGrill. And I liked it, and I didn't like it. I liked it because it was the new app-based. It was 4 probes, and it was digital readout, and you could scroll through. Now this still works, great. The problem that I had was to start dropping connectivity to your phone. But you could still scroll through and see what your temperatures were. Fantastic. You had to buy separate an ambient probe, which is thicker and only reads ambient. It came with a few probes. I had to buy some extra probes over the years, but meat probes. So you could run up to 4 different meats or different ambient temperatures and whatever. So that was really cool. I liked that part. The part that I didn't like was the connectivity kept dropping out. When we were at a barbecue competition and we were using this, and of course everybody had that because it was the latest, greatest thing, we would get readings on our phone that didn't match this. Huh? This was reading what was going on, what we were hooked up to. But what was being transmitted to our phone was the guy next to us, or 2 guys down, 2 doors down, whatever. So the app really frustrated me with that. So I would just use the buttons and not even open the app. So that's a nice little thing there. A few years after that, the iGrill Mini came out, and it's 1 probe, and it is strictly app based. There's no readout at all. It's one of those dumb purchases. I bought it. It was like 35 bucks on clearance at Wally World, and I got it. And I think I've used it a couple of times. It's nice. It's a single probe. It's nice if you're into all that. But yeah, it looks pretty sitting in my thermometer box. So then you say, okay, well, you had your drum smoker you built. You have your ambient temperatures. How did you check your meat? If you did not use the iGrills, either one of them, the old standby. You pop this off. There's your nut to adjust. These things, you know, they're reliable. Old Faithful is what I call it. And I used it for a long time. The problem with it is it's slow. So in a drum smoker, if you have your lid open too long, you get a lot of air that shoots down in there and you get a flare up. So I would normally get flare ups and singe the hair off my arms with this. So a buddy of mine that I was hanging out with at the time worked in a kitchen at a hospital, and he said, I got something for you. This was my first instant read. Now let me tell you, this little Comark has been through the ringer. I have used it for the last, I got it in 14, so 9 years. I've beat the tar out of it, changed the batteries. It's been melted. It's been beat up. It's been drowned. It's been everything. Still works fine. I highly recommend this one. Hey, it's my go-to. It really is. The one that I will say I wouldn't waste my money on, and I did because I thought it was going to be cool, was these little ones. I thought when I saw these, I was like, oh man, I could just stick this in a pork butt and then have one in 4 pork butts, and then I'd open the lid and be able to read the temperature, boom, in and out. No. I can get all 4 of these calibrated to the same, and we're reading different temperatures. 20 minutes after calibration, the next day, I'm off, way off. So I don't recommend those. So then I got into doing a lot of Weber kettle cooking. And I added a big thermometer like this, little 3-inch thermometer on the lid. And I wanted to know, okay, if this is on the lid and it's telling me I'm 400 degrees, where am I at down here? Because I know on my UDS, my temperatures change, my varies. So I wanted to know, so I set up one of these oven thermometers. Put this down on the cook rack, put this up here, and this is in the dome. There it can be 40 degrees off. So I set this up on the cook rack, and this tells me where I'm at. And these are like 10 bucks, something like that. I use them on gas grills to like set on either side, so I know where my hot zones are. You know, they're just great for the Weber kettle, for the, you know, if you want to double check your temperature, what you're cooking at the vortex, anything like that is good. Oklahoma Joe came out with these hockey pucks. Same concept, just it reads the surface temperature here. So it reads this here. So if you set it on a Blackstone, you're going to get an accurate reading up here. If you set this on a Blackstone, you're getting the air here. Here's where your element is. So you can kind of see the difference between the two. But if you're on like your cook rate, you set it there on your UDS, it'll tell you what the temperature is, the cook rate. Same as like if you have a second level and you want to know where you're cooking at, what your ribs are doing over here and your bird's doing here, you can put this down on the bottom and then this on the second rack, and it'll tell you your temperature differences. Another one that I got this was given to me. Somebody thought of me when they were shopping at the grocery store and said, here's an ice chef. It's a single probe. It has a digital readout. It also has an app. I very rarely use the app because it has the readout. I like having the readout. So this one, single probe, I use it not enough, but I use it a lot. I mean, I like it. So I would recommend something like that. And this is made by Maverick. Speaking of Maverick, back in like 2018, when this came out, I was so excited. And it was $90 when it first came out. And man, for me, that was a lot of money. And still is. The XR52 or XR50. 4 probes. So you can see it's got 4 screens. It's got 2 on this side, 2 on that side. They're fantastic. It has like a 500-foot range from here to here. So I can set this up on the kettle and be upstairs folding laundry or whatever. If this is in the backyard, I can be at the front of the house. I can be up, by the front yard, mowing grass, and I still have this with me, and I still reads. The connectivity through the house has been amazing. That's what drew me to these. I highly recommend this. It came with 2 probes, or 2 styles. You have a short probe and a long probe. Either one works, ambient or meat temp. Comes with this little clippy doodad to clip it into the cook grate, and then you slide either one in, and that's how you get your ambient. But a company, the Meat Stick, reached out to me a while back, about a year ago, and can you do a review? Yeah, I'd love to. It's $100 for me. This is me. I don't need an app-based thermometer because I have this one. But I check it out because I think it's interesting because it's completely wireless. What I like. I want to know my ambient temperature and my meat temperature, which this does both. This part here reads your ambient temperature. This part here reads your meat temperature. The problem I found, and I was having a hard time with, is depending on where I put this in at, if I went all the way up to the ceramic like it says, then my ambient temperature would be way off because it's reading the coldness from the meat radiating out, so it wasn't reading the ambient temp. So I had to back it out, and since I've backed it out about yay far, I put it into about there, and I've been getting a lot better results as far as ambient and temperature. Because if you come out too far, well, then this one's off, and then this one's reading right. So there was a learning curve with that. This extender has to be, these two have to be within 6 feet of each other. In the Weber kettle, this is in the meat. This is down on the leg or on the shelf right next to it. It's all app-based. And at first I was like, I don't know about that. And then as I've been using it, I like it. It shows you the graph, and you can save all the cooks just like you could on the iGrill. And it showed you your time, your temperatures, your spikes. You can tell when you open the lid or whatever happens. But I really liked it. The only downside that I see to this, and it's not even a downside, because if you're looking at one of these, then you're already willing to spend the money. It's $100. And I know, Bear, you just spent $90 on this 5 years ago. You're right. And that was hard to do. That was hard to do, but nowadays I'm glad I did. This, you know, it was sent to me, so for me to tell you that it's worth $100, that depends on you. If you are one that is busy while you're cooking, you're in the office, you're, you know, doing yard work, or, you know, you're out doing other things, you're chasing after kids, this is good. It's been very good. I've used it in a crock pot. I've used it in the grills, different grills, different parts of the yard, and the connectivity, you know, doesn't lose. So this has been very good, and I would recommend it if it's in your budget. That's the only thing, is you got to stay in your budget. The other company that reached out was Chef's Temp. Now, this is comparable to the Thermopop from ThermoWorks. It's very fast. It's it's a bit faster than this. I want to say this is like 3 seconds and this is like 5. And this is like 4 minutes. But so this is really fast. It's accurate. It does have a charge port, so I'm kind of leery about getting, you know, grease and stuff in it, but I've been very careful and not have greasy hands when I pick this up and use it. So, but it's been very good and very accurate, and, you know, I would recommend this too. I think they're like $40, but I could be wrong. They sent it to me, so I don't remember how much it was. But the main thing is to stay in your budget. When I got into doing a lot of cast iron cooking, and my buddy got a Blackstone and he was telling me, get your IR gun. All right. And then I would get comments on videos about, hey, what temperature are you cooking at? I'm like, I don't know, I'm on medium. But so I found this. It was like $25 when I bought it. They've since done a revision, so it looks a little different. Package is different. But it's a dual. It's got the IR. So you hit the button and you hold it down and it tells you your temperature. And the laser shoots out and tells you your temperature. You have the fold out meat probe. So it tells you, you know, you can just stick it in there and tell you your meat temperature. So this was a good investment. I like this one. In terms of fast, it's 3 to 5 seconds, just like this one. But that's been interesting, just to kind of play around for me to see where, you know, where your cast iron temps are when you're cooking. These are just some of the tools. These are the thermometer tools that I use. There's many out there. So hopefully this helps. And yeah, my opinions may not be yours. Your experiences may not be the same. But this is just what I've come to learn over the last decade or so of cooking barbecue in a UDS or an offset or a gas grill, a Weber kettle. These are just some of the tools I use. So hopefully this helps, and y'all have a great day, and we will catch you on the next one. Rock on!